Welcome to Core AbC's. This is the very first part of the core activation series for dancers. Let us look at how the core comes to play in a session at my studio. It looks more like we are executing movements involving balance and anchoring. Then how exactly are we using our cores? It turns out that the core is what is key for all dance movements. If a dancer's core does not offer the adequate support and stabilization needed for movements, her joints can take on the serious impact of her dancing by bearing the brunt of the forces generated by repeated motions. This might manifest as chronic pain in the lower back or in various other parts of the body. A strong, active core is what can help you stay stabilized for good posture and for all dance movements such as rotations, anti-rotation, twisting, bending, balancing, pivoting, jumping, and many, many more. Join me as we begin discovering the core in Core AbC's. These are techniques that will help you not just to dance, but etch deep influences on your posture and movements even in day-to-day life. You might have heard fitness, gym, or dance instructors tell you to engage and activate your core. What is this core and how does one activate it? The core is not just the abdominal muscles, it includes a number of different muscles in the body as listed here. We shall focus on a few of these in this first part of Core AbC's. The pelvic floor muscles are involved in supporting the bladder, bowels, and uterus. The deep abdominals are situated in the inner and lower abdomen and are a very critical part of this video lesson. Superficial or outer abdominals, these are your six-pack muscles. Obliques, these are muscles involved with twisting and bending. Multifidus, these are muscles along either side of the spine. There are additional muscles along the sides, back, and hips that we will consider in the following series. What does it mean to activate the core? Well, the core is active at all times, or else the dancer will be flipped over herself in a pile like a little rag doll. But the core needs to be more than just passively active to support dancing. You need to understand how to engage the core actively so it offers the stabilization and strength possible for movement. Let us begin to get familiar with a few of the important core muscles. The outer abdominals are used in crunches and sit-ups and many of the familiar ab workouts. It turns out that even if you have a strong outer core, without proper engagement of your deep inner core, you could be susceptible to joint-related misalignments and chronic pain. So it is very important to understand how the inner core can be recruited. Now we move on to the deep abdominals. Let us start to feel your inner core by lying on your back. Let us do a simple breathing exercise. Begin by placing one of the hands over the chest and the other hand over your lower abdomen where the deep abdominal muscles reside. First, we begin with chest breathing. Take a few long, gentle inhalations and exhalations so only your hand over your chest rises and falls. This kind of breathing with air reaching the upper parts of your lungs is to be avoided as it is a very shallow kind of breathing and does not give you sufficient amount of oxygen. Next, breathe deep into your lower abdomen. Take care to not let the hand over the chest move up and down. So all the movement of air is only going to swell the lower abdominals and as a result make the hand over the lower abs rise and fall. This deep abdominal breathing is the first important stop during our discovery of the core, and you can practice this over 8 cycles every day of the week on an empty stomach. We're now going to add one more step to the deep abdominal breathing so we can use the core to support and brace ourselves during dancing. In this step, we will be standing up and be using a modified type of abdominal breathing. Place your hands with the palms over the part where your love handles are or would be. Fingers are spread over the front of your waist on the belly, which in the normal breathing will rise and fall. Apply gentle pressure into the sides of your body with your hands. Take in a long inhalation and feel the breath push against your palms. Now leave the walls of your abdomen still pushing and making contact against the palms, but exhale the air out of your abdomen. So it feels like you're expanding and contracting while maintaining a constant pressure pushing outward into the palms of your hands with your core. It is important that the pressure go outward into the palms and not forwards into the fingers. This is the modification of the deep abdominal breathing you just learned. This type of breathing is braced and supported by the core and causes the core to expand in and out, much like an accordion. See how the movement of the breath is only expanding the abdomen in and out along the sides of the body and not towards the front and back. This type of breathing is called diaphragmatic breathing and is a great way to actively recruit the diaphragm, a large breathing muscle that forms the roof of the abdomen. It might take you some time to build awareness to execute this type of braced breathing. Daily practice is the best way to build awareness and engage the correct core muscles. Diaphragmatic breathing is a supported breathing movement that you can use when you dance at all times. Wearing a dupatta or sash is not a substitute for diaphragmatic breathing. In fact, a tightly tied dupatta or sash around the waist can potentially reduce your awareness of diaphragmatic breathing while you dance. We move on now to the third breathing core activation exercise. This exercise also allows you to begin experiencing the presence of the deep abdominal muscles in your body. Place your hands over your lower abdominal muscles and take a long breath in, and as you breathe out, hiss like a snake. Inhale and repeat. You can do this while you're sitting, standing, or lying down. You should feel the lower deep abdominals pushing into your hands as you exhale and make the hissing sound with your mouth. Let us look at how to include breathing exercises into our daily program. You can practice 8 cycles of each of these 3 breathing exercises every day until you think you have built enough awareness of how to activate and engage your abdominal muscles. You will use the second type, namely diaphragmatic breathing, in all of the following exercises in this video series. So it is important to practice these exercises regularly that also serve as periodic check-ins and reminders for correct technique. Continue watching the next video in the Core ABC series to learn and follow along with the Core Activation Program, an exciting exercise program involving all of the core